Woo! Yes, well done DC. For the first time since the Dark Knight trilogy and Wonder Woman have you had a film that has not sucked. Let's talk about it. Justice League is directed by Zack Snyder and stars Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and this is finally, after all these years, the story of how the Justice League get together. Now, like all super teams, they get together the only way they're really going to show you how. They have to fight a bad guy. The bad guy for these guys is Steppenwolf. Now, in my opinion, DC has always been the little brother trying to keep up with Marvel, its big sister. Now, of course, it's had some gems with the Dark Knight trilogy. And, of course, more recently, Wonder Woman. But, you know, after seeing the Justice League, I think there's a little light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to start this review off with what everybody wants to know. What is the new team like? We're going to start, of course, with one of its founders, the Batfleck, Ben Affleck as the Batman. Now, I've heard on the grapevine that Ben Affleck isn't going to play the Batman for very much longer, but I really did enjoy him in the rather miserable attempt that was Batman vs Superman. I think he was a shining light in that movie. He showed how Batman could be different from Bale's version, which of course has now become the gold standard. If he does decide to leave, I think that will be a real shame. He has become someone I didn't think would be a great Batman, but now has become a great addition to the DCEU. Gal Gadot, of course, as Wonder Woman. Now, the phenomenon that Patty Jenkins created at the start of this year, wow, no one expected DC to come out with an absolute belter like that. Gal Gadot has now proven that she is the Amazonian warrior Wonder Woman. She is Diana Prince, and this movie, like Ben Affleck, this just proves more and more that she is born to play the role of Diana Prince. Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Now, in many circles and in many TV shows, Aquaman has become a laughingstock. He is parodied in South Park, he is parodied in The Big Bang Theory as a character that no one really likes or wants to be. He is just a bit of a joke with, some would say, pretty pointless powers. But the Game of Thrones star came in with no standalone movie like a lot of the Marvel characters, came in, did his part, and absolutely made Aquaman his own. He was badass, he looked amazing, he was kick-ass, and really, if he makes his own movie, I am all up for that. I never thought I'd say that about Aquaman. Yeah, I'm not ill. I did just say that. Ezra Miller as the Flash. Now, I don't know that much about the Flash. I know there's a TV series out of him, and I know that the comic books, there is many iterations of the Flash, but I really think that Ezra took this character and really made it his own. He was the funniest part of the movie by far. A lot of one-liners. He really says things like, you know, I don't hurt people, I just run really fast and push them away. He does these really cool little quippy things that I really appreciated, and it really broke down some very heavy moments that DC also have a problem with, making things a little bit too dark. I think Ezra Miller's portrayal of the Flash was exceptional in really breaking things up for you. Also, testament to him is that he obviously isn't the actor that played him in the series, so he took a character that has now been, in TV terms anyway, fleshed out, and he took that and went, I'm going to do it my way, it's great and all, but this is me. Oh, and Cyborg was Cyborg. I think he's just one of those, I'm the character who's the computer, so I do all the computer stuff. I would say a lot more about him, but really it's nothing you haven't seen before out of a nerdy computer character, so sorry, can't say much more than that about Cyborg. The thing that I was really worried about when I went into the movies was Marvel have had a lot of time now to flesh out their characters. This is only the 5th movie in the DCEU. There's not been that many movies to flesh people out. There's been a Wonder Woman movie, sort of one for Batman and Superman, and mainly one for Superman. So I really was thinking, is this a bit too close and a bit too rushed, if you were? Because Wonder Woman only came out at the start of this year, and they've already brought out the team superhero thing. And I think I was a bit right. I think it maybe is a bit too rushed. Look, I've heard all about the $25 million reshoots. I've heard that Zack Snyder had to leave, unfortunately, because of his daughter's suicide. I've heard all about everything that went on with this movie. But it really didn't help, because the reshoots didn't do much, I think, personally. The movie does seem very choppy, very rushed. Almost the same thing that happened with Batman vs Superman. Everything went wrong in that one. It seems that, okay, they got a lot more right with this, don't get me wrong, but you could just tell they're trying to get this through because, you know, Marvel have already had 2 Avengers movies. They're going on to their 3rd next year. They're really trying to get the point across that there's going to be a DC team. Maybe they could take just a little bit more time, make a few linked in smaller movies first. I don't know, but it did seem a bit rushed. This really does also translate into Superman's return. Yeah, spoiler alert, not. As soon as Superman came back onto the screen, something really got to me quite quickly with it. Henry Cavill's face and mouth moved very strangely. I didn't know about that and why it was happening until I came home and immediately researched it, because it gave me a headache just thinking about why he had rubber face. He's doing Mission Impossible and he wasn't allowed to shave his moustache. Very small point there for them not to let him shave for a few months. Don't know. Nothing that a bit of sticky tape can't do for him. But it just made him look like he wasn't even there. It was like a CGI Superman for most of it, and he was ADR'd afterwards. It seemed that way. He obviously was there. It's just that half of his face was a computer for most of the film, apart from when he wasn't being Superman. For some reason, when he was in his civilian clothes, it was Henry Cavill's regular face. That's just a small part of it. I really did enjoy him coming back. I think his introduction to coming back was extremely clever. You'd think it would be quite harmonious, but ... I think it was handled the way it should have been handled, and it was really quite interesting when he came back. I was like, yes, cool. He looks awesome as well. I think he's one of my favourite people who played Superman. Of course, you can't touch Christopher Reeve, that's just a different thing, but I really do enjoy Henry Cavill as Superman, and I'm glad he's back. I would also say that Steppenwolf, the villain, of course, in this movie, struggles and is quite one-dimensional. His reasons for taking over the world and what he uses to take over the world aren't exactly revolutionary, but that's not saying anything, because Marvel also have struggled in pretty much every film in getting a decent villain. DC haven't had that struggle in a lot of their films. I think the last 2, Wonder Woman, yes, that struggled as well. There's also been a few movies that they've struggled with every villain they've ever had, but I really don't think that, I really don't think that this is really going to muddle them in any way, because I think they'll come back with a better one. They're struggling with Lex Luthor. I think they'll get through that, but this one was just maybe a little bit too weak. I really do think that Justice League is a great sign of things to come. They were struggling for years and years and years. I'm looking at you, George Clooney, but I really think that they've come back now. They're really starting to settle down. If they can just slow down a bit, make sure they just make the best movies possible. They've got the best characters, the best actors now behind them, that they really can. They've got the strength now. They've got what they need. Let's just see them do it right. With all of this being said, guys, I'm going to give Justice League a 3.5 out of 5. So there you have it, you beautiful people. There is my review of Justice League. If you have seen the movie, then please let me know what you thought. I will also leave my Wonder Woman review in the description down below if you haven't seen it. check it out please. I'd love it if you did. Now before you put me in the little part of your screen on your phone down there, please don't forget to click the subscribe button. Follow me on all the socials. You'll know the drill, and I'll see you all in the next video.